before the vultures know. Scavengers here, just keeping it real. Pink got it out the mud, but it's still so clear. So sit back, relax, and just let us lead you. If you're trolling for no reason, then we don't need you. It's Big XL, he can't be stopped. Riding dirty forever, the home of real hip-hop. Ride dirty, tell me y'all can't harm me. I'm living fly in the sky with the stars. Ride dirty, ride dirty, ride dirty, ride dirty. Ride dirty, dog, y'all can't harm me. I'm living fly in the sky with the stars. Ride dirty, ride dirty, ride dirty, ride dirty.
What it do, what it do, what it do. What up, world? Is your boy Vic Excel, and this is the Riding Dirty Show, where we bridge the gap between hip hop and everyday life. All right, like we do every night round about this time. I always got to start the show by saying one time for the good people over at WRFG 89.3 FM Atlanta, our FM radio home for the past 15 plus years. Definitely holding down the overnight slot. Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, Thursday night, Friday morning. Again, one time for the good people over at WRFG 89.3 FM Atlanta. All right, number two. Got to say one time for the good people over at live365.com. All right, the people over at live365.com. Now, let me tell you guys a little bit about live365.com and why they're so near and dear to my heart. Okay, live365.com is the internet's oldest streaming source. Now, but they're not a streaming source. They're not a streaming platform like your normal platforms like Spotify, like Tidal, like iTunes. No, they are a platform for radio stations, terrestrial radio stations, college radio stations, left end of the dial radio stations to broadcast via the internet. They have a big server, and they allow stations to broadcast via the internet. All right? We've had the opportunity to partner up with Live365.com and launch our very own internet radio station. All right? That radio station is Ride 95. Okay? Our brand new media-based tracking radio station is Ride 95. The next in hip-hop and R&B and home of country rap. All right, now the way you can tune in is very easy. All you got to do is go to live365.com. In the search engine, type in RIDE95, RIDE95. Once you type that in, click on our station logo, and you'll have music 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Now, if you want to check us out via your mobile device, it's just as simple. You got to download the live365.com or download the Live365 app. Open the app, go to the search engine, type in Ride95. Once you type in Ride95, click on our station logo, and again, music 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. All right? Now, please lock us in. Good music all the time. Okay? Now, some things I want to let you guys know about before I bring on our guests. Number one, make sure y'all check us out on YouTube. If you miss any of our interviews, then you can revisit them on our YouTube page at Riding Dirty TV. Riding Dirty TV. RIDINDURTY TV on YouTube. All right. Make sure you check out our Facebook page, Riding Dirty Radio. Every Monday through Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we host an exclusive show on Facebook Live called The Duel. All right? The Duel Daily Song Battle. So make sure you become a friend or a fan of the Riding Dirty Facebook page and check out The Duel Monday through Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, if you want to check out some of the dopest videos, some of the best news, make sure you follow us on Instagram at Riding Dirty Radio, where we're giving you news and new music all day, every day. All right? So, now, last but not least, check us out on Spotify. We have playlists on Spotify. We have two playlists. We have the Riding Dirty Radio playlist, and we have the Country Rap Tunes playlist. So please, go subscribe, follow our playlist on Spotify. Again, that's Riding Dirty Radio playlist, and that's the Country Rap Tunes playlist. playlists. All right? Make sure you check out both those playlists. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I hope everyone has started their New Year off on a positive note, started off the way that you want to start off, and hopefully you're going to get all the things accomplished in 2021 that you didn't possibly or maybe not had opportunity to get accomplished in 2020. Now, before I bring on our guests, I want to let you guys know about our amazing sponsor, all right? This is an independent-owned company. If you're checking me out via Facebook Live, you see it. I got it right in my hand. Y'all make sure y'all check out the good people over at Liquor Lollipops. Now, Liquor Lollipops is a premium hard candy designed to taste like your favorite alcoholic beverage. They have over 15 flavors to choose from. Be sure to visit them at liquorlollipops.com. Make sure you let them know Vic XL and the Ride and Dirty Show sent you. Find out how you can become a brand ambassador. Find out how you can have Liquor Lollipops at your next event. All right, one time for everybody on the check-in, one time for prayers, one time to Pastor Perry, one time for my man Ron. Everybody on the check-in, man, I love you guys. Happy Sunday to you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, with no further ado, because you know this is my favorite part of the show, and that's when I get to bring you guys the guests. When I get to bring you the people that are moving and shaking and definitely doing their things on the streets, changing the world, as I like to say, brick by brick, movement by movement, bag by bag. All right? Whether it's through arts, entertainment, sports, philanthropism, religion, real estate, if you're an author, if you have a story to tell, then the Ride and Dirty Show is the platform for you. And tonight is no different than any other night. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Ride and Dirty Show. Mr. Leland Darks. How you doing today, my guy?
Yo. What's going on? How you doing, man? Thank you for having me.
Man, I'm doing great. Thank you for being on the show. Man, just trying to, ease on into the new year.
Yeah, same way. It's been an interesting past couple of days, but, we here.
No doubt. So, look, the first thing I always like to ask, because I have that deep Southern dialect, Leland Darks. Did I pronounce your name correct?
Yeah, you actually did. You said it perfectly.
Okay. Mr. Darks, the first thing I want to ask is let the world know where you're from and when did you get into the music business?
Okay, so originally I am from Raleigh, North Carolina, born and raised. I am now relocated in Washington, D.C., so that's where I've been for the past 5 years. But I've actually been musically involved for quite some time now. I began instrumental, kind of playing instruments at the age of 4. I started playing violin at the age of 4. Then I started playing drums in church, singing in choir. I started making beats about freshman year, so I was probably like maybe 14, 15 years old. Since then, I've just been kind of progressing ever since. And I'm still recording, mixing, producing, songwriting, all of the above to this day. So it's been a while. I'm 10 years plus in now, so it's been a while.
Hold on. Did I hear you say you played violin?
Yes, sir.
All right. What is it like for an African American to play violin?
I'm gonna be honest, man. It was interesting growing up. I think the reason why I stopped playing is just because of that, that pressure of it not really being a cool thing to do as a black male. All of my friends were playing sports, and I was going to violin practice, and it kind of got to me, kind of like turned me off from it, honestly. And now looking back, I kind of wish I didn't stop. But it's interesting that you asked that question, because I think that that definitely affected the reason why I stopped playing. But neither here or there, it caused me to progress and to move into the field that I'm in now. So everything happens for a reason. All
right, now, what took you from Raleigh, North Carolina to D.C.?
So honestly, it was just like my first big move, as an adult. I had just graduated from college. I went to North Carolina A&T, Aggie Pride, shout out A&T. Graduated in 2015, moved up here just to explore. Honestly, my mom had already actually lived up here for a couple years, so that was kind of another good reason and made it kind of a smart move for me. But honestly, man, I just wanted to explore a new city, kind of go somewhere that wasn't too far, but still a big change. And I'm so glad I did so, man. I love it up here.
All right, now, did your musical career as an artist and producer start in North Carolina, or did it start in D.C.?
Yes, that started in North Carolina, high school, freshman year.
All right, let's talk a little bit about your background, because you actually have a very, very big background, and you're part of a major viral movement.
Yeah, so to speak on that, I was in a group. Shout out to my brothers. It was called Troop 41. It was 3 of us from Raleigh, North Carolina. We, worked for a long time, built up a lot of momentum in the city, throwing parties, events, shows. And eventually in 2010, we actually made a tribute song to John Wall, Through the John Wall. Which pretty much went viral before going viral was actually a thing. And this is, gotta remember, this is before streaming. This is before a lot of that. So organically just kind of went viral just due to the perfect timing and just, the song itself is a great song. It's a tribute to a really great movement that happened in Raleigh at a good time. So that happened. We got signed to Universal Republic, was traveling all over this country doing shows. Definitely the biggest learning experience in my music career, though, dealing with the music industry and the labels. I'm pretty sure you can already imagine how that goes. But really glad I went through that. Probably the biggest accomplishment to this day, having that platinum record, because it did go platinum. So that's something not a lot of artists can say they have.
All right,
I'm grateful for that.
All right, number one, I gotta ask, what made y'all actually do that record, Do the John Wall? Because I remember hearing it, and it came out when he was in college. And was he from Raleigh, or because he went to college in Kentucky, correct?
Yeah, he went to college in Kentucky, but he was from Raleigh. Me and John actually grew up on the same block, East and Davie Street, downtown Raleigh, North Carolina. He actually used to take me to school some days. But just him being so close in the community and just cool with us, it was just kind of a tribute, man. He went number 1 in the draft pick in the NBA draft. So being from Raleigh, that doesn't happen every day. So we wanted to celebrate it. And that's how it came about.
Yeah, and he's still doing his thing to this day. Did he actually full-fledgedly support the record? Because I remember seeing him like in the stands after a game doing the John Wall. How did he feel about the record, especially with it getting as big as it did?
Yeah, he actually, fun fact, he was actually on the original joint kind of introducing it. But at that specific time, once he joined the NCAA, they definitely had some guidelines and regulations that didn't allow him to really be a part of it. So that's kind of how that went. But he definitely was, I remember the day I made the song and sent it straight to him before anybody else heard it. So he was definitely in support of it in the beginning.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about being signed to the label and the group. First of all, share with a lot of the artists who have never had the experience of being signed to a major label what that experience was like.
I'm gonna be honest, man. I was 17, 18 years old. It kind of felt like a dream, like a dream coming true. But at the same time, I will say, looking back, it's a learning experience. You definitely want to be prepared to learn things. You definitely want to go into situations like that with experienced people around you, because just to be blatantly honest, the music industry is a cutthroat industry. They see some young kids that don't really have their business together, and they're going to try to take advantage. And that's honestly exactly what happened in our situation. But like I said, man, it was something that I'm completely grateful for. I wouldn't have it any other way, because now I know what I know, So to all other artists who may be, looking for a deal, or that's kind of your goal is to get signed, I would just remind you to, make sure you have yourself established in your business portion, there first. That knowledge is going to be very, very crucial. And even if you don't have it, have somebody around you that does.
All right. Speak a little bit about the group. What's the status of the group after the label situation?
Oh, so I mean, we basically, after a few years, I mean, to be transparent, which I like to be as transparent as possible, we were signed for approximately about 6 months. You know, and then we were dropped from the label. We continued to make music. I continued to make music. But we also, you know, life continued as well. You know, I went back to school, you know, got my degree, continued to make music as well. Two other guys, so Tristan and Dakari are the other two members of the group. Tristan actually went into film. He went and got his master's in film production. And Dakari, he's actually still making music out in LA as well. So we're all still creatively involved in our careers. And we're those are my brothers, you know. Literally, blood couldn't make us any closer. So it wasn't any big breakup. It wasn't any bad, you know, tragedy that happened. We just, you know, we all grew in our own lanes.
All right. Now, I have to ask this question, or that all that leads me to this question. All right, being signed to a major label, being in a group, having a viral, before the word viral was popular, record heard throughout the country. What made a hip-hop artist switch gears and decide to pursue R&B?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. I actually, honestly, have always kind of been more melodic. And even when I was in the group rapping, I would always kind of be on the hooks, singing a little bit. Was heavily influenced back in the day by people like Roscoe Dash, you know, the Atlanta scene, heavy back in, you know, the early 2010s. So I think that was always a part of me. Even, you know, going back to the violins, I've always had melodic, you know, things in my head. So as that progressed and as I started to learn my own sound more, it just kind of started to grow. You know, that's just kind of the sound that I gravitated towards most. I really love R&B. I love soul. I love, you know, Bryson Tiller's Trap Soul was a big monumental, like, moment in my career as well, when I kind of realized, you know, someone else out there also had that same sound, and it was just super inspiring to me. So, you know, just kind of growing up and learning more about myself, I gravitated more towards the R&B lane, and now I'm really fully comfortable with my sound.
All right, now, was it a hard transition for you? And was it a hard transition on your fans? No, actually it wasn't. You know, to be honest, again, I think a lot of people who listened to us while I was in the group, always kind of heard, you know, that melodic style of mine. And I would have people encourage me to, you know, kind of tap in and experiment with my own type of music. So I don't think for the listeners, it was a big shift. For me, I do remember putting out my first solo R&B single. And it was, you know, it felt good though. Like, it didn't really feel like I wasn't staying true to myself. I felt more so comfortable. And yeah, I think the shift kind of happened by itself. It wasn't something that I had, like, really had to force myself to change or anything to do that, to tap in. All right. Who are some of your inspirations when it comes to creating the music that you create today? I know you mentioned Bryson Tiller.
Yeah, for sure. Bryson's a big one. People like Ty Dolla $ign, new artists like Giveon, even female R&B artists like Summer Walker, Kehlani. These are all people that I listen to and that I'm inspired by. Brent Faiyaz is another one. He's probably, you know, one of my favorite artists that I've been listening to heavily for the past couple of years, honestly. But yeah, a lot of the R&B, alternative R&B, trap soul, that whole lane of R&B that is a little bit still inspired by hip hop. That's kind of my sound and what I'm inspired by.
Now, with that being said, it's in 2021. It's almost like every hip hop artist borderline sings anyway. Like, I'm hearing more and more artists that they call, and I like this artist. They call Post Malone. They say Post Malone is a hip hop artist, but I've never heard Post Malone spit a bar.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, I think Post is a little more pop, even. Not even. I don't even know if I would call him. It's a splash of hip hop, but he's a little bit more on that pop side.
And
in my eyes.
Now, as an R&B artist, do you feel like there's a very, very small line in the separation of hip hop and R&B in 2021?
I think that there started to be. I think that real R&B is making another emergence. I think that I can't really tell the future what's going to come, but just listening to the sound and how the sound is shifting, I think it might be more of the opposite. I think there is going to be more of a heavier influence on alternative R&B and real soulful R&B, and getting real vocalists back to making R&B what it used to be, you know. And I can't even speak and say that what I make is real soul R&B, because I think it's still infused with my own liking for, you know, like trap drums and really hard hitting percussions and things like that. But I think R&B is actually on the comeback.
Okay, I definitely agree. I agree with that. All right, so let's talk about your latest offering.
Mm-hmm.
You got a 7-track joint out called "It's Different Now."
Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit about the project.
Yep. Yes, sir. So this project was completely produced, written, recorded all during quarantine, 2020. Just a collection of things I was going through, things that go through my head, relationships, kind of just what all of my projects kind of come from, or just my own experiences, maybe even experiences that people I'm around go through. And the title itself is kind of self-explanatory. Like, it's different now. I think no matter who you are, if you made it through 2020, you can relate to that. You know, everything is different now. You know, from not only from everyday life, going to work, coming home, going out, not going out at all, and maybe even relationships and people that you speak to. I think a lot of what quarantine did and a lot of this pandemic craziness has done to us, you know, has also allowed us to see, you know, the true value in not only just everyday life, but the people who we're closest to and people who mean the most to us. So not to get too deep, you know, it's just that title itself is just a reflection of kind of the entire mood for 2020. And it's a lot of things are different now, and probably won't be the same for a while.
All right. Now, the one thing I definitely noticed was 2020, even though it was already around and super everything to the world, a lot of things emerged when it came to numbers, when it comes to social media and the internet. How have you used the internet and social media during the quarantine to further your career?
Instagram is really my main platform. You know, I use Instagram every day, just like I'm sure every artist does. But I have gained quite a close following on Instagram by doing things like I was actually doing like these small quarantine sessions, which were just small videos, like 1-minute video clips of me producing and making things from scratch while I was locked inside and couldn't do anything else. That was one of the things. And also just making music and sharing like a behind the scenes lens to me creating. I do a lot of that on my stories. I also promote my merchandise and things of that nature as well on both of my pages, my personal Instagram and my Dark Sound label Instagram page as well. So just like, you know, everyone else, I've been using it as a tool to stay connected. And I think as far as the virtual life emerges more and more, I'll start to do more like virtual shows and live things like that. Haven't really tapped into that yet, but that is something that I plan on doing a little bit more.
Okay. All right. Now, speaking of your Instagram and social media and streaming platforms, how can people find Leland Darks and his project It's Different Now?
So my name, Leland Darks. That's LelyndDarkes. Pretty much every social platform, every streaming platform, you will find me. You will find It's Different Now. You will also find It's Not You, It's Me, and also In the Dark. I have 3 projects as of to this day. But Apple Music, Spotify, whatever you got, you can stream it. Instagram, Twitter, I'm there. Leland Darks everywhere.
All right, now we're gonna leave the people with this joint called Not Yet. Tell me a little bit about it. I know you wrote it, I know you produced it, but tell us about the concept of the record.
Yeah, so this is called Not Yet. Like you said, written and produced by me as well. But basically the concept of this song is just talking about a relationship where you might be with someone who may not really be ready to be with you. And it's okay to recognize that, but to still kind of enjoy the moment and live in the moment and enjoy whatever it is that each person has to offer. So without further ado, Not Yet.
Appreciate it, my G. Have a great night.
Thank you so